Hello my beautiful butterflies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Beverly and it is lovely to see you today. Today we're talking about spirituality, but we're talking about toxic spirituality, so stick around and find out more. So if you've been on my channel for a while now, you will know that I'm on a spiritual journey. I'm trying my best to share that journey with you guys so that you can grow with me, find out things, maybe think about stuff in a different way, start looking into more spiritual ways of living. I don't know, I'm trying to help. But on my journey so far, I have come across a few things that I think are quite toxic. And I think whenever you add humans into the mix, it's going to get muddied up. It's going to get twisted and turned. That's happened in every corner of the world. You know, the internet is amazing, but we've also got the dark web, that kind of thing. And spirituality is not... it's not safe from that either. There are still people out there who will use spirituality for their own gains. They will muddy the waters, and I kind of wanted to just have a little talk about that. Hopefully you don't fall into the traps that they've fallen into. And this isn't judging anybody on an individual basis. This is literally just me pointing out things that I think are very toxic in the community and to steer clear of. So the first thing I want to talk about was Instagram. I love Instagram. I'm on there a lot. I don't scroll much. I'm not on there hours, but I do pop on there a few times a day just to see what people are up to and to post pictures. I love it. It's where I've made a lot of friends. It's really important, social media, to people with chronic illnesses, because then, you know, we don't get out into society much. Not many people, even the people who are close to us, can really understand what we're going through or what we have gone through. And so it's important for us to kind of get that out and to talk about that. And I just wanted to state that because social media is coming from a good place for me. I don't see a lot of hate on there. I follow a lot of really great people who inspire me every day. So I'm really lucky. It's who you follow. It's not the app. So I started my spiritual journey and I started sharing things on Instagram, and almost the moment I started, people started following me. Businesses, bloggers, and yoga girls. Now, if you don't know what I mean by yoga girls, which if you're into spirituality at all, you will probably know what I mean. But when I say this, I'm talking about very, very skinny, usually blonde. They usually do like crazy poses, like acrobatic poses that are supposed to be done in a very sacred, meditative state, and yet they do them in the middle of the street. They'll do a handstand, or they'll do like a crazy pose and take a picture and post it on Instagram to show how flexible they are, how bendy they are. When I started yoga class, my good friend Amanda warned me about this, because I used to go on Instagram and follow these girls and be like, oh my god, I'm nothing like them. I struggle so much. I'm not as bendy as them. I don't have as much control. I need to keep up with them. They're the best. And then Amanda kind of pulled me to one side and she was like, you do realise that some of these girls are dancers, and they've been dancers their whole lives, or they're into gymnastics as children. They are usually very sporty people who are very flexible anyway, and then they try yoga and they find it easy. And they just do it because it's cool, because it's the in thing to be doing. I've seen a lot of them do like crazy mad routines in bikinis. And I'm like, I can literally see everything right now, and I don't want to be doing. It makes me uncomfortable, and it's nothing to do with yoga. It's nothing to do with spirituality. That's not what it's supposed to be. If I just sit here and breathe with my back straight, that's yoga. That's yoga. Yoga is actually something very physical, something very meditative that we can do. And if you look into yoga, there's actually lots of different branches of yoga, and physical yoga is just one type. But a lot of these girls don't talk about the other forms of yoga. They only talk about the physical yoga, and they will do crazy poses, and it makes you feel inadequate because you're not as skinny as them, you're not as bendy as them, and then people think that's what yoga is. And so they say, oh, I can't do that. I have a playlist, which I will leave a link down below to, of yoga poses and yoga routines that I do. One of them is with props, another one is seated, another one is in a wheelchair. They're all very gentle. One's for like chronic fatigue. That is true yoga. It was not created to be something where you can get Instagram famous in your bikini. It was not about how skinny you are or how perfect looking you are. In fact, when yoga started, it was just for men. Women couldn't do it. So I find it really interesting these people are doing these poses and claiming to be yoga teachers, and I look at them and I just think, you are not what yoga's about. You're not what spirituality is about at all, and it makes me really uncomfortable. So please, if you are interested in yoga, steer clear of these people. They're usually very acrobatic or dancers. They have always been able to do this sort of thing, and that's not what it's about. There are a lot of amazing yoga teachers on Instagram who are teaching incredible poses and teaching all about all the forms of yoga. So just be very selective about who you follow when it comes to Instagram, because these girls, I mean they look amazing. And I do look at them sometimes and think, wow, that's really cool. But I remember Amanda telling me about one girl. I can't remember what her name is, but she's like one of the most famous of these yoga girls. And she actually had to have hip replacements because she pushed her body so much in order to get into these poses and be in them for a long time to take pictures. And she had to have hip replacements, and she's like in her 20s. Doing yoga that much and such deep poses that much is not healthy, and it's not how yoga is designed. So just be really, really careful. The next thing I want to talk about is forced positivity. This annoys me to no end. I am somebody who has suffered with pain and chronic illness, depression, anxiety my whole life. I have videos about all these subjects, so definitely check out my playlists. But, I mean, being told that you've got to be happy all the time. Push away those things and just be happy. Push away those doubts, just be happy. It's not reality. It's not based in anything even remotely authentic. I've been doing a lot of shadow work recently, and shadow work is something where it's not just, oh, self-love, hashtag self-love, aren't I beautiful? It's actually looking at why you don't love your body. And it might be, I'm a woman and my whole life I've been told that I have to look like this, but I actually look like this. Because my body type is different from that model that I grew up thinking I had to look like. It's looking at, why am I depressed? It's looking at what trauma you went through in childhood, what things you've experienced, those memories that are triggered, like that time you said the wrong thing in a conversation 15 years ago and it's been bothering you ever since. Dealing with those things and really looking at them and really doing the work. Shadow work is really hard. It's not something, it's a bit like therapy, but spiritual therapy is how I think of it. And it's kind of looking at your past and looking at the reasons why you feel certain things. And if you do this work, you will find that you'll get happier, because instead of thinking about that thing you did 15 years ago, you've forgiven that version of yourself. You've realised why you did that. You were just young and stupid, or whatever it was. or you were stressed about your nan being sick, or whatever it was, whatever the reason, there's always a reason why you did that thing. And once you forgive that, it's like a little thing releases inside you and you feel lighter and happier, and it comes from a natural step. It's not, I'm gonna push away every feeling of, you know, I'm annoyed, this person's getting on my nerves. It's not pushing it away, it's understanding why that person's getting on your nerves, because usually that person represents something in you that you don't like about yourself. Or that person is on their own journey and they're not in the same place as you, and you're just kind of not meeting in the same place. Could be a hell of a lot of reasons. But my point is, all of this, hashtag self-love, hashtag whatever, this kind of mentality that you've got to be positive all the time, you've got to be happy all the time, you've got to love yourself unconditionally, that's the goal. But the journey to get there is a lot more than just putting pictures that are pretty on Instagram and telling yourself that you love yourself. It won't last. It's not authentic. You need to do the work. And I think a lot of people who have done that work, they might think, oh, well, that person knows that I've got to do the shadow work, or I've got to look at this, or I've got to forgive this. But when they don't mention it, people don't realise. And I didn't know. I didn't know that I had to do that, and I was trying to force myself to be happy. And when you suffer with chronic depression, with anxiety and panic disorders, some days are hell. Some days are so difficult that you can't even get out of bed. And it's okay. It's okay to have days like that. But I was trying to force myself to be happy on days like that, and it didn't last. I still felt the same feelings, and I think it's important that you know that you don't have to be happy every day. You know, that Buddhist monk out there, he's not happy every day. He still deals with things that annoy him, but he keeps his emotions grounded in reality and doesn't get lost in assumptions and thinking certain things, imagining certain scenarios. That comes down to mindfulness, which is really important, as you all know. It's so important to me, mindfulness. But I think it's just so important, so important that you do the work. If you want to be spiritually free, if you want to step out and grow as a person and let go of those old bonds, you've got to do the work. Definitely look up shadow work. There is a really great blog that I follow called Luna and Sol. I will leave a link to that down below, but they have amazing articles and ebooks, and they're all free, that you can do. And I think they also just brought out a workbook that you do have to pay for, but it's not that expensive, and it's like a daily workbook that you do to deal with your shadow self. I'm not being paid to promote them or anything. I just think it's important to share what I know, and that brings me on to the next point. Very nicely. Oh, it's almost like I'm a professional. So the next point I want to talk about is people who are building a business based on spirituality. Now for this, I am not talking about the people who sell crystals, and I'm not talking about the people who have an actual product that you're buying, that they've put time and energy, like jewellery and, you know, Reiki and stuff like that. People who've actually, you know, got a product that you're going to get in your little hand. Because those people are trying to make their dream come true, and everybody's dream is to work for themselves and to do the thing that they love and make it into a business. And a lot of people are doing that. I've collaborated with a few people who've done that in the past, so if you want to see those films, definitely have a look through my videos. But I definitely feel like there is a darker side to it, where there's people who are bloggers, where you go onto their site and it's like, oh, this ebook, £20, and it's like, for an ebook, £20, more than an actual book. Or do this course, it's only £595, But if you sign up today, it's 380, and it's like, who's got that much money to just give away? Like, you need time to save up. Like, you can't just, you can't do that. And I get really like aggro about it. It really annoys me because, yes, before I carry on, people should get paid what they're worth. If somebody has been teaching and studying for 20, 30, 40 years and they've got so much knowledge and they want to impart that, like my teacher Linda, who I've talked about before, when she's teaching, she's worth every penny. The amount of work and knowledge that she has is incredible, and she has done so much for me personally that she's worth it. But all we do is when we go to class, we just give her £20. £20 per class. Now you might have 10, 12 classes, but it's spread out monthly. So I'm just actually paying £20 a month for her knowledge, for a couple of hours of her time, and she's so worth it. But then when I go online and I see people who are in their 20s and they've got a blog and a course and an ebook and this, that and the other that they're trying to sell, and everything is really expensive, I just think to myself, are you really spiritual? Because I don't make any money from my YouTube channel. I spend money on the channel, but I don't make a penny for it. If ever you want to donate, there are donation links down below. No, I'm not saying that so you'll go and give me money, but I'm just saying, like, to me, if you enjoy my content, you might want to tip me so I can get a coffee next time I'm at a Starbucks or something. Or you might want to just give me a little £5 when you've got it, whatever. Not the point I'm making. The point is, I don't make money from this. I don't make money from my blog. And yet in both places, I'm trying to impart what I've learnt so far to you for nothing. You don't pay for my content. Because for me, when I spiritually woke up, when I was like, whoa, there's more to this world than I've ever thought, my head exploded and I just wanted to tell the world everything. And I wanted to help people find God and find spirituality and get out of the matrix, as they call it. And so I offer my knowledge so far for free on here, and you are more than welcome to it. My opinion, my thoughts, my experiences, you're more than welcome to it. Now, if my videos, to access them, you had to pay £200, is that spiritual? Are you passing on your knowledge to help others? Or are you using what you've learnt to make money? It's a difficult one. I do believe that people should get paid what they're worth. But I also believe in people learning and growing and then helping others to do the same. And there are so many great bloggers out there, and podcasters and YouTubers and people who are giving away their knowledge because they want to help you. And I will leave some links down below. There's going to be a lot of links down below, but honestly, just check them out. Just have a quick look, because a lot of these people are doing incredible things, and they are kind, good people who just want to help. The amount of times there's been somebody and I've messaged them because of something they've said or done on their Instagram or something, and they've replied and given me knowledge and steered me if I was a bit off, explain things more. If I didn't understand, they would kindly answer any questions. That's what it should be about. And then if you do manage to find a way to make extra money, say for example you make an ebook. I was thinking of doing an ebook. I think they're really cool. For under £5, if you spent a couple of weeks on it and a lot of people buy it, then you're making money. Maybe you design t-shirts, maybe, do you know what I mean? Our knowledge should be passed on. But in the past, like shamans in the past didn't expect to get paid. Buddhist monks don't get paid. You know, it's like they just want to help. And so, I don't know, it's a difficult one. What do you think? Definitely let me know down below, because this is something that I struggle with a lot. You can probably tell. But on one side, I'm like, yeah, people should get paid for what they know. But on the other side, if it's so expensive that most people cannot possibly afford that thing, then are you being spiritual, or are you in it for the money? Money should be the last thing on your mind. It's definitely the last thing on my mind. Yeah, it's tricky. And then lastly, I just wanted to talk a little bit about false gurus. There are a lot of people who claim to be gurus, who claim to have all the answers, who claim, you know, you follow me and I will open you up and you will get to heaven or whatever you believe in. Just be careful. I think I spoke about this in my Black Panther and Shamanism video. I'll leave links to that. But I was saying how there's 3 worlds in shamanism. So there's the lower world, which is the safest. It's like the Garden of Eden. It's where all your ancestors are. It's where we go when we die. It's just a beautiful place. Very tribal, very, you know, how you imagine it to have been thousands of years ago. And then we have the upper world, which is a bit like heaven, how you'd imagine heaven. It's where the spirit guides are and angels and all of that. And then you have the middle world, which is here. And it's the most dangerous place you can go. You can never tell what people are wearing. Like, people wear masks. People are pretending that they're going to help you. I read in the book that sometimes people will claim to be your spirit guide when in actual fact they're not, and they're just using you. And you can see it clearer when you are journeying in shamanism. But we've seen it with our own eyes. There's been a lot of cults. There's a lot of cults going on right now. If you go on Instagram, there's a lot of people who claim to know the way, to claim to have all the answers, but nobody does. We're just humans. We're just humans, and we're trying our best to get back to God. We're trying our best. We're all on our little journeys, doing our best. So just bear that in mind. Nobody has all the answers. Nobody can say definitively that their thing is the way, because we don't know. We have to have faith. That's where faith comes from. You have faith in something. Like, you don't know the answer, but you know that you want to get there. I think it's really important to bear in mind that not everybody is how they seem, and maybe some of these things I've talked about will help you to just guide your way around social media and people who have got blogs and courses and all this stuff, because we are very business orientated, money orientated. That's just humans. That's just the way we are. So I think it's important to just remember that, and to try and just be a bit careful. So guys, this has been a really fun discussion. I would love it if you would join in down below. Let me know what you think, what you feel, what your thoughts are. I would love to hear it all. I love discussing anything to do with spirituality, and if I'm wrong on anything, definitely let me know down below. I am always open to discussing things and talking things through, but I also think we all are on our own journey and we have to get there in our own way. I don't have all the answers, you don't, but maybe by talking things through, we can both get a little bit more knowledge and a little bit closer to where we want to be. That's the goal anyway. I hope that you have a really amazing weekend. I hope you have fun with friends. I hope you get to go out and enjoy yourself. Please, please, just don't forget to make someone smile every single day. And if you enjoyed this video, leave me a little like down there. And while you're there, hit that subscribe button, ring that little bell, so you always know when I upload. I'm usually here Mondays and Fridays, health permitting. I wish you all a fabulous weekend, and I will see you all on Monday. Bye.